I mean, I think it's implied that nobody's going to want to watch these videos, obviously. It's me talking to myself when I'm frustrated, and I'm going to start broad and zoom into two simultaneous specific issues, both of which prevent me from getting my work done, prevent me from being profitable. When I was in school, I remember faculty talking about Quark Express, and when you would use the user interface on Quark Express, the fidelity on screen was abysmally low. And of course, the genuine need for low res previews and unlinked things, and it makes sense if you had grown up in an environment of understanding what that low fidelity, WYSIWYG display was. It was about. Computers didn't have capacity, anyways. So all these design students are there using design standard InDesign rather than Quark. And there was this standoff between students and faculty about, well, why would you not be on the latest stuff? I mean, why would you not be on the latest operating system with the latest software? And I've run into this before also working with pre-press at print places. They're running the most archaic old Windows, old Mac OSs, old versions of Corel, and old versions of Illustrator and Quark Express and InDesign. Old. True Type and pre-open type, fonts, everything old. So why do people prefer old setups? What I believe the answer is, and it's funny because here I am full circle. Now I'm a grumpy old man, right? I used to be a student and be like, oh, the latest stuff, it's great. Whatever, I have a student loan, I can afford to pay whatever Apple tells me I need to pay. The reason why people like old stuff is because it works. It's efficient. You sit down, you activate your software, your workspaces, your cloud connections, all this daisy chain stuff of drives. It just works. Why? Because you spend an absurd amount of time putting the thing together, troubleshooting it, and it just works. So, and when it works, you get accustomed to an expectation. The expectation I have is that this program works with this program. And recently, I mean, 3 of my issues online, they're all related to switching to silicon. All of it. So, like I bought a computer, an M3 Max, it's like, a year ago. And sometimes I'm like, well, why would it take you so long to actually like get your workflow? Like, well, one time I was doing a live event and Minicam, the app I'm using right now, that allows you to do like, feed switching, and it's like, anyways, it didn't work in a live event, and because Apple, when they switched to silicon, changed the way that Apple interacts with app developers and all the third party. They changed the rules. Here's the new rules. And can you, it's Apple Silicon's not the same as Intel. Is Apple making themselves easier or harder to play with? I'll leave that to you to guess. But the thing that bothered me with Minicam was that they nested the functionality in a paid upgrade, regardless of whether their users had half a dozen, lifetime, whatever you want to call it, their warranties. It's all just a bunch of bullshit. You have to pay more money to get the beta, to get the fix. So every time Apple changes the rules, everybody gets to make money. So Minicam was one, but more recently, I have 2 things going on. And one is that my time machine no longer works. It did work, but now it doesn't work, right? So I had a workflow, I had an expectation that was working. Something changed. Like Brian Regan on Flying, something changed. Something changed. So you're like, am I on my own? Or are there other people? So you go to Reddit, you go to support blogs. See, am I alone in the universe? Like Zoozical, the musical. So alone in the universe. Or are there a cohort of people who are all of a sudden like, my workflow's broken. What happened? It's somewhat cathartic to realize, oh, I'm not alone. We're all getting screwed simultaneously. But what's worse is when you realize, no, you are alone. Nobody has the janky daisy chained setup that you have. So essentially, yeah, this is the error. Time Machine couldn't complete the backups. Oh, SX3 Time Machine. The Time Machine did not finish backing up because some files were unavailable. Backup will resume when your Mac is unlocked. I talked to Apple. I'm like, what does that mean? They don't know what it means. It's just the standard usual stuff of like, well, try your cords, try your connections. And this is what I was saying to the guy. I was like, okay, so I'll tell you what it feels like to me. It feels like Apple has the devices which increasingly have the most modern I/O, which is, you can call it whatever you want, Thunderbolt 16 for all I care. It's a USB-C form factor, right? And then you buy a big fancy dock or a hub. You're saying, we made such a sexy device because we basically absolved ourselves of any I/O and we give it out to third parties. And that's great. So you can connect all your devices, you can connect your monitors using software and all this stuff. But if anything goes wrong, guess what? Apple gets to wash their hands clean of it. Why? Because it's somebody else's hub. Great. All I'm saying is it did work, it's not working, and I know where this is going. It's going because one of the items in the troubleshooting thing is make sure that your device is connected directly to your computer. I'm like, well, this is as directly as I can do it, right? USB-C, USB 3. Apple will be like, oh, well, you got old stuff. There's nothing we can do for you. I'm like, it did work. It was working. Same as on my hub that I can't touch because I'm making another attempt. So, do you get the new stuff? It doesn't play with the old stuff. Your workflow is broken. Even if you had infinite money, it still would be no guarantee that things would work. This is the last instance, and I've already talked about this on the playlist. But just to review, this is where my expectation comes from. My expectation comes from the way that I've been using Corel for a number of reasons and the way that it worked. It worked fast. In fact, I have a 2012 machine beside a 2023 machine, Windows 7 versus Windows 11, Corel Draw like 13 or X3 versus Corel Draw 2024. The old machine works better, more reliably, less buggy. I literally had like a 27-page file, convert all of the text to curves, which means you got to rebuild the whole damn file. Anyways, so, well, I have, and yes, I have installed Corel on the Mac side, but there's other reasons to have a PC so that I can speak with my PC clients and send them stuff. Yeah, products. Parallels desktop for Mac. So, yeah, I've talked about this before. Optimized and ready for MacOS Sequoia. It is in fact not. I can show you. I have tickets open. It's funny too, because watch what'll happen. Today is they've been waiting for my response for a long time. I've tried responding like 3 times. I reply. I've tried replying a number of times, but the entries don't actually post. So it's March, and if I say reply, get a happy little message that says, "Thank you for your request. Our team will contact you soon." No, they won't. The post still says waiting for my response. And when I open the thing up, I say reply. I want to reply. It's not registering my posts. Gee, I wonder why that is. So Parallels is useless. Here's a thread I have with Corel. I'm like literally back and forth. They've opened command prompt as administrator. Press the Windows key and X in your key. So I'm running a DISM command, and then another thing I'm SFC. As I'm doing all the stuff, I'm doing all these processes on Windows. I'm submitting screenshots of the error. There it is. This device does not meet the minimum CPU or GPU requirements, which is what everybody is saying in the Parallels forums. And I'll try it again. Yeah, let's see. Support. I'm following the threads now, and so other people saying I can't play this game, and I can't do these things, and I can't use Windows the way that I'm told that I can use Windows, because I'm getting this AVX2 error. Where am I going with this? Hi, Aaron. I completely understand how frustrating this situation is. I want to be as clear as possible about what is happening. The AVX error you're seeing occurs because your virtual machine's CPU, for some reason, doesn't have the AVX2 instructions to Windows. Okay, so you're from Corel. For some reason, since the Painterly brush in Corel Draw requires AVX2, the specific feature will not work in your current setup. That said, aside from this limitation, you can still use Corel Draw as usual with Parallels. What I'm saying is that's what I am doing, and it's horrible. It's horrible and slow. It's ridiculous to spend all of this I/O and docs and licenses. You're up to $6,000 to build a system that doesn't work as well as a 13-year-old system. That's my point. The new expensive system doesn't work as well as the old system. The old system allows you to get your work done. Holy crap. But here's the best part. The best part is this, that in my case, it's not the case for the people who are playing games, but in my case, when I do a search, Alludo, reimagining the way the world works. Corel is reimagining the future of work, its own historic brand as it fully rebrands as Alludo. So this is 2022 watershed moment for us. It's impossible to overstate how much the world has changed. Corel, Alludo, about Alludo. Here's Alludo, and here's Alludo's brands. Corel Draw and Parallels. So on the one hand, I have forums here. I wonder, watched threads. Oh, here we go. So here's Parallels. Yeah, recently, same thing. Unfortunately, I can't play Age of Empire via stream on my M1 MacBook Pro with Sequoia using Windows 11 via Parallels 19. I met with your CPU needs AVX instructions to run this game. What is the answer? There is no answer, my friend. You and everybody else. It's like it. So, Alludo, your Parallels people don't know what's going on, and simultaneously, your Corel people don't know what's going on. I hear your frustration, and I completely understand where you're coming from. So, Corel Draw doesn't know what's going on. Parallels doesn't know what's going on. I do know what is going on. Alludo still selling the expectation that it's going to work, but it's not going to work. Anyways, so you become an expert at it, and now I'm switching chords here. Like, I wonder how my well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. Look at that. It was a chord. I switched the chord. Did it completely, it actually, today, it worked. I found a different USB 3 chord, and it worked. So it was the chord. Anyways. So I can back up again. That's nice. I don't know what to say except for, you need some friends, man.